All right, guys, welcome back to All Mine Ranch. My name is Ryan. Thank you for joining me. So I exhausted myself yesterday. Not only did I build the fourth solar rack, get it built, put the panels in it, get it wired up, and all of that yesterday, I then turned around and drove up to Benson, Arizona, about an hour away because there's a massive pile of used free railroad ties, and I completely filled the bed of my truck by myself with railroad ties that weigh many hundreds of pounds. I probably brought back 1,500 pounds, I would say, of railroad ties. So my back is shot. I'm totally exhausted. Physically, I'm worn out. I slept like a rock for 9 hours, but I woke up just stiff and sore. And then I had to unload those railroad ties this morning, so it wasn't like a no work day. And I wanted to give you a quick update video because it feels like I'm entering into a new phase of my off-grid existence here at All Mine Ranch. When I first got here, which was only a couple of months ago, and ever since then, the vast majority of my time and effort has been about getting my tiny house situated with water, power, a deck, some landscaping, and just the basics of, bare bones functionality. Well, I've been working on that for a couple of months. The last few videos have been about like solar racks, and just yesterday I got solar rack number 4 done. So I've got 12 panels out there that I'll show you photos of. Those panels are now off the ground, functional. I've got more batteries on the way. So the work there is not completely done, obviously, but I feel like I'm entering into a new phase where now, even though this house that I'm in, the structure that I'm in is always going to be my main focus, I have a third container. Since this house is made out of 2 containers, the previous owners left me a third container that can be the starting point for a garage. Well, I'm not ready to do the garage, but I do need a carport, as I've mentioned in other videos, because I'm ordering a backhoe from Harbor Freight. And between the backhoe, my motorcycle, and my truck, I need some shelter. I have no carport, I have no garage, and the Arizona sun is going to be baking. Here in Arizona, southern Arizona, near the Mexico border, it feels like winter's on its way out. Even though it's still getting freezing at night, during the day, it's getting up to the high 60s. This week, it's going to get into the mid 70s. I think it might even get up to 79 in a couple of days. So it's pretty sunny during the day, hot and sunny during the day. And the sun, beats down on everything. And if it's got paint on it, like my truck, it'll start to fade that paint real fast. So I need some shelter. I need a carport for those 3 things, the backhoe, the motorcycle, and my truck. And so before I can do that container carport project, I have to level out the container because on one end it sags about a solid 5 inches or so. And so I've got a laser level. I bought some bottle jacks. Now I've got to dig some holes under that container and get it jacked up, and then take some of the timbers that I've bought recently, or some of the railroad ties that I've gotten for free from the city of Benson, and get them under the container and level it out. All right, guys, let me show you what I'm talking about with the container. This is the container. Got 1 bottle jack under there, 1 bottle jack under there, and now it's just a matter of jacking it up. And I started just to see how easy or difficult it would be. I'm getting some windbreak here. And it was actually surprisingly easy. I've already lifted it about 2 inches, just, going from one side to the other. So I really need to wait until it's darker so I can break out my laser level, shine it along the rail that makes up the length of the container, so I know when I'm ready, when it's jacked up high enough. I've also got to move all the materials that's on the back side of it away from it. There's 22 pieces of steel, and it's a pain in the butt to move it, but I need to get timbers underneath that container to hold it up, and that steel is in my way right now. So I'm going to start on that right now, even though I'm pretty tired from digging those holes. All right, guys, huffing and puffing again. I just got the steel moved, and you can see already just from messing with the bottle jacks for a couple minutes, I've got this guy floating this container. Look at that gap. It's about 3-4 inches already. It's got to go up about another 3 or 4 inches. But before I do that, one, I'm going to wait till the wind dies down, which I think is tomorrow. Go over here. I don't like the idea of lifting that container so that wind can get under it. We've got 11-mile-an-hour winds today, gusting to about 15. I don't think it would move it off the bottle jacks, but I certainly don't want to take that chance. And I need to get the laser level out, and I need to cut the timbers and get all the timbers sort of pre-staged, the ones that are going to go under it to support the leveling once I have it to the proper height. So I'm just going to mess around with the timbers and kind of get ready, I think, tomorrow after I'm done with my work day. Actually, no, I have tomorrow off, so I can go register my vehicles at the DMZ. At some point tomorrow, I'm going to try to get this container level and get the timbers under it. And that will give me a good foundation for starting my carport. So I'm making progress. Not too shabby. Okay, the reason I just cut this in half is because its dimensions, which are roughly 5 by 3, now that it's in half, it's the same width as the container. And since it's 5 by 3, I can turn it up to so it's 5 inches height and put it under the closer end of that container, this south end. Then I can take the other piece, turn it so it's only 3 inches high, and shove it a little further down. So basically I'm accommodating the taper of the ground, or the slope of the ground versus the levelness of the container. I will need timbers of various widths. Then theoretically I need a 4-inch and a 2-inch and maybe, a couple of 1-inchers, and spread them out and put them all the way down the length of the container so that it's supported, along its length. So this was a twisted bowed one. I'm not sure how well that'll work under the container, but I'm hoping eventually the weight of the container would flatten it out and take out the twist or the bow. So that's my thinking anyway. You guys would be amazed how much these timbers can soak up that copper green stuff. I mean, the wood soaks it in, especially on these sides, the narrow sides. There's some pores in it. It just soaks right in, and particularly the end grain. You can put several fluid ounces on the end grain. It just keeps pulling it in and pulling it in. It's kind of ridiculous how much it drinks, but the more it drinks, the more termite resistant it is. So anyway, I'm treating these because they're going to be in direct contact with the ground for many years to come. So. my secret for how I can touch the camera with gloves that are covered in copper green sawdust. Spread sawdust all over your gloves. Boom, bone dry. And that's why I keep a tub of extra sawdust on hand. It's just to get crap off my hands. Hey guys. Okay, so I've been busting butt. It's Sunday night. The sun just went down. I've been trying to jack up my container and level it out with railroad ties and beams. Man, working alone sometimes sucks, but I got it. It's as good, it's acceptable. Let me step out here. I've got the laser level on. I'll show you. It's not perfect, but it'll work. Hopefully you can see this. Here's my laser level. Shooting the beam. And as you can see, it kind of goes from about 3 inches along the rail to about 3 inches along the rail. So that is pretty level. I got beams under there. Sorry about the wind noise. I got railroad tie under here, railroad tie under this corner, several of my 4x6s under here. Dang, that wind. It's coming from the northeast, coming right in my face right now. I got a 4x4 in right here, and some a 3x3 and a 4x4 down here. Another railroad tie, a couple the other sides of the beams. Anyway, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna call this good enough. Thanks for watching. Cut.